You know that feeling when the tools you're supposed to use at your own company feel like they're actively working against you? Well, today we're going to flip that whole idea on its head. We're going to talk about how to treat your internal engineering platform like what it really is, a first-class product with customers who matter and a real strategy for making them happy.
So let's start with a really important question for you. Think about your developers right now. Is the platform they use every single day a runway that lets them take off and fly? Or is it more like a roadblock, just a tangle of red tape and frustrating delays? Seriously, the answer to this can literally mean the difference between success and failure for your team.
And that right there leads us straight into what so many of us deal with, the internal platform problem. It's this crazy situation where the very tools that are meant to help us, to make our lives easier, end up doing the exact opposite. They just create more friction and slow everything down.
So where does this all come from? Well, it usually boils down to one single core problem: thinking of the platform as a cost center. You know, when it's just seen as a line item on a budget, something to minimize, it gets starved of resources, and the goal becomes just keeping the lights on instead of actually helping people. And the result? You guessed it. Frustrated developers, innovation grinds to a halt, and honestly, it's just not a great place to work.
But what if we just threw that old way of thinking out the window? This is where a new mindset, the product mindset, completely changes the game. It's a huge shift, right? We stop seeing the platform as a cost to be cut and start seeing it for what it truly is, a massive value creator for the whole company. And this is the big idea, the absolute heart of this whole thing. Your developers are your customers. Simple as that. They're the people using your product day in and day out. And think about it. When they're happy, when they can be productive and ship amazing things quickly, the entire business wins. It's that simple. Putting them first has to be the number one priority for any platform team.
Okay, look at this. This really paints a picture of the difference. In the old world, the cost center view, what do we care about? Uptime, ticket counts. Basically, is it on? But in the new world, the product view, the questions are totally different. We're asking, are our developers actually moving faster? Are they even using the tools we build? Are they, happy? The focus moves away from just the tech and onto the people, because their speed is what fuels innovation. All right, so if we're going to say the platform is a product, we've got to start measuring it like one. No more gut feelings or guesswork. We need data. And the best tool we have for this is something called service level objectives, or as you'll often hear, SLOs.
So what exactly is an SLO?
Well, think of it as a promise. It's a clear, specific goal for how your platform should perform. But, and this is the most important part, it's always from the user's perspective. We're not talking about CPU usage here. We're talking about whether a developer can get their job done quickly and without headaches. The SLI, the service level indicator, is what you're measuring, like how many pipeline runs succeeded. And the SLO is the target, the promise you're making, like 99% of them should succeed. And here's how this looks in the real world. We stop saying vague things like we want faster project setup. Instead, we get super specific. We create an SLO. 95% of all new project requests will be completed in less than 5 minutes. See the difference? We can do the same for pipeline reliability, or even track how many teams are using our recommended golden paths. Suddenly, we have real, hard numbers that tell us if we're actually making things better or not. Now, data is amazing, but it can't tell you the whole story. An SLO might tell you that your pipeline reliability dropped to 90%, but it will never tell you why your developers are so frustrated they want to throw their laptops out the window. For that, you have to do something else. You have to actually listen to your users. And look, this doesn't have to be some massive, complicated program. It can be super simple stuff. Regular satisfaction surveys, a weekly office hours where people can drop in. You could even just put a little feedback button inside your tools. The whole point is just to open the door and make it incredibly easy for your customers, your developers, to tell you what's working and what's not. Let me give you a quick story of how powerful this can be. So a team runs a survey, and one piece of feedback keeps popping up. Getting secrets for a new service is a total nightmare. The platform team digs in, and what do they find? A clunky manual approval step that's causing a 2-day delay. 2 days. Because this is killing developer velocity, they make fixing it their number one priority. They ship an automated tool, and that 2-day wait, it becomes 2 minutes. That is a massive win, and it never would have happened if they hadn't asked.
Okay, so we have the hard data from our SLOs, and we have the human stories from our feedback. How do we combine these into a system that just keeps making things better? Well, that's where this concept of the improvement flywheel comes in. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful way to create this virtuous cycle.
First up, it all starts with measure. This is the foundation. It's where we use those data-driven SLOs to get a totally objective look at the user experience. No opinions, no guesswork, just the facts.
Next, we listen, because the numbers from our measurement step don't tell the whole story, right? This is where we gather all that qualitative feedback to understand the why behind the data. We find out what's really going on.
Okay, so now we've got the what from our data and the why from our users. This is where the magic happens. We can finally prioritize. We can confidently decide what to work on next because we know it's something that will actually move the needle for our customers.
And finally, we get to improve. We build and ship the thing that solves the problem. But it doesn't stop there. This is the most important part of the flywheel. As soon as we ship, we go right back to step one and we measure again to see the impact. Did it work? And just like that, the cycle continues getting better and better with every turn.
So let's boil this all down. What are the big things to remember? Number 1, your developers are your customers, period. Number 2, use SLOs to actually measure the things they care about. 3, don't just rely on data, combine it with real qualitative feedback. And finally, put it all into that powerful flywheel. Measure, listen, prioritize, and improve.
So I'm going to leave you with a little bit of homework, a challenge. When you start thinking this way, that your platform is a product and your developers are your customers, what's the very first question you're going to ask them tomorrow?